You are listening to the SitRep Podcast, your source for historic wargaming with a fresh perspective. We review the latest and greatest products in wargaming, discuss rules and what-if scenarios, and we cover the news and the latest trends. This is all brought to you by your SitRep command team from around the world. Join us for another riveting conversation here on the SitRep Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. So today is November 1st, 2020, and let's just start off by saying 2020 officially really sucks. Not that it hadn't already, but it officially has sucked. If you have not caught up on our Facebook page yet, and we'll make sure we get it on the Discord page as well, we are officially canceling the gaming weekend. Not something we relished the idea of doing. Unfortunately, due to COVID and the resurgence of said nastiness, we decided it was in everybody's best interest to go ahead and cancel it instead of trying rescheduling it. So, yeah. So here we are. Sorry about that. If you guys have already reserved and had put down your deposits, we'll make sure you get those back here in the next week or so. I'm going to be doing a little traveling again, and so it'll be a few days, but we'll get it processed, and we'll get it out to you. So, if you had not already heard, I don't know, you must live in a rock or somewhere, but Sir Sean Connery passed away on Halloween. I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but it's a very sad day around the world. Man was very influential, not only in the spy genre, but in the World War II genre, military itself. He played, was it Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel Urquhart in Bridge Too Far. And
he was a Major General in that, wasn't he?
Was he Major General in that? I can't remember what his rank was, but... Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he had that division, so I'm not exactly sure how the British military is set up, but I'm pretty sure he had. Pretty sure he was the divisional commander on that.
Okay, all right.
It's a reason to watch again.
Yep, reason to watch it again. So, among other movies, and the funny or sad thing is, and I don't know if I'm jinxing it, but the other day I watched The Rock, with him in it, and I had said, man, I wish he would make another movie, but I'm like, God, he's got to be, 90 years old, right? And I'm like, man, it's going to be a sad day when that man passes. A week later, here we are. So
it's your fault. Way to go, Bill. Nice.
So, yeah, it's you can blame me for it.
Hope you don't talk that way about me.
Every damn day. All right, guys. So, I wanted to do some catch-ups on some comments and postings on the Facebook page, and then we're going to talk about the direction of SitRep, because, that was our major topic of the last show, and we did receive quite a bit of feedback on that. So I thought we would address that as well, and then, we'll just ramble on as we always do. But I do want to catch up on some comments first. First comment is from a gentleman overseas, and this one's to you, Chris Long.
Yeah.
Geekville and Matt's arrive?
Yeah.
How are they?
Oh, I already talked to Mac.
Okay.
Yeah, we've clarified, and it's on my table right now.
Can you give us some quick first impressions?
Freaking amazing.
Okay.
It is, yeah, it's really cool. I've now changed the whole basing style of all my ruined buildings because of this mat.
Wow.
It's that good. Yeah. So there will be a video coming up.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. All right. Paul B., we talked about, he won the North Hag starter set, and he sent us a thank you picture. And let's see who else here. Speaking of which, Jim, you have gotten quite a few comments, my friend, about your Valor and Victory systems, your add-ons or expansions, however you want to put it. There's people like busting down the door that want you to post them on, is it Board Game Geek or somewhere, so they can get their hands on it.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen them on. Well, I haven't seen them on Facebook, but I've seen them on YouTube and a couple places. The problem is not the problem. The thing is with that, there's like 7 or 8 different sets. Like there's one for the Falklands, there's one for World War One, there's one for Indochina, one for Vietnam, and yes, those are 2 different things. There's one for Somalia, there's one for Afghanistan with Australians. There's a couple others in there that I forget. Oh, IDF versus PLO in Lebanon, 82.
Mm-hmm.
Those were built for virtual play. In order for me to make printable PDF sheets, they're going to take at least an hour or 2 a piece. So, guys, get specific if there's one you want, because I'm not going to sit down and do them all. And I mean, I can make the pieces for you, and I can put it in a PDF print sheet if you want, in standard Valor and Victory sizes.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still not really going to have the rules. Those rules were never really written down. Obviously, they're based on Valor and Victory. It's mostly Valor and Victory, but casualty evacuation is not in Valor and Victory. POWs, not in Valor and Victory. Medics, not in Valor. Civilians, all those helicopters, all those modern specific rules we created for Valor and Victory in order to make Valor and Victory a more viable gaming platform for our SITREP content. None of those are going to be in there, but right. I can make the pieces. The pieces are all made, but they're like, I have one IDF full squad. I have one IDF half squad and like 6 IDF leaders. Obviously, for a printable sheet, you need like 20 of each, and that's a whole different formatting thing. You have to splice it together into a sheet. It's just a lot of real tedious work. So if there's 1 or 2 that you guys are interested in specifically, of all the ones that we featured, let me know, and I'll try to do those. But just saying, hey, please print, please offer what you have on that. You're talking about like a solid weekend of work,
mm-hmm.
and not fun work either. That's going to be like you have to literally copy and splice these things into the sheet like one at a time, convert it to a PDF. It's a thing. Because we have so many of them, if you guys want like 1 or 2 in particular, let me know, and I'll knuckle down and do it. I posted stuff on Board Game Geek before. I'm very active on that site. I'm very active on Consim World. Used to be very active on Tabletop. Of course, we're active with SITREP. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And there's only so many hours in the day. So let me know which ones you want specifically, and I'll definitely get to it. I promise.
Jim, would it be beneficial to have a dedicated file sharing platform for just our members to access things like this? Do you think?
The thing is, we'd have to fill it up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got plenty of stuff. It's just not printable.
Sure. What's
the word here? It's not print friendly. It wasn't designed for that.
Right.
It's made for, digital play.
I think some people are actually looking to get the digital file so they can run it themselves on Excel. I don't know. I mean, I'm just...
Oh, okay. That would be... you'll just get a ton of files. You will get literally hundreds of files. They'll all be small, but that would ironically be a little bit less work. Because I would literally just grab everything in this file, copy, paste, wait for the little blue wheel to spin, and, then you would have it. It just, it would not be, oh, look, I can play Valor and Victory in Israel now, or in Lebanon. Print, paste on cardboard, do what most people do with Valor and Victory, cut it into squares. Actually, now you have physical counters that you can use with your existing, Valor and Victory maps if you want.
Right.
That's kind of how the Valor and Victory community works. There's everything from every possible thing you can think of in World War II, all the way up to, and I'm not kidding, Mars attacks. Somebody made a Valor and Victory for it. I know I keep threatening this, but one of these days I'm going to do Star Wars in Valor and Victory.
Do it.
Just do it. It's fun. Yeah. It's not exactly modern combat because it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But,
no, but
just kidding.
Their long time ago could be our future.
I was going to say, it could be an alternate reality thing.
Well, speaking of alternate reality, you could put IDF paratroopers up against like German infantry, like a time travel episode.
Right.
If you printed out all these things on and in PDF. So yeah, for the immediate question, guys, it's just that there's a lot of it. So if you give me a specific target, I'll go ahead and PDF that stuff together, and I'll put it on Board Game Geek. And then if we had like a place where we could put stuff, it might be useful. I don't know how many people would get into it, but then again, we could also always post it on Discord.
Yep.
I mean, we can always, do it there as well. So, why reinvent the wheel? We do have a Discord channel.
And I think that's where I was going with it is why don't we, if you want Jim's hard work and dedication, you need to join our Discord channel, and that's where you'll find it. You need to be part of the community that we're growing. And, I personally, that's how I think about it, Jim, is that we should, if we're going to offer anything, it should be on the Discord channel.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I suppose building a whole new site, that's number one, expensive. Number two, yet another address that people have to remember. It's another thing to break. Mm-hmm. Again, we already have it. Why reinvent the wheel?
Right. So that's how I feel about it.
I think we put it all in our Facebook page files section, so that way Jim has to start using Facebook.
Good luck with all that shit.
I can see Jim telling it all to Marty to have him post it.
You guys can come on Discord too.
Yeah, that's right.
The community's on Discord.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about the direction of the podcast, because, like I said, we got quite a few responses regarding that topic on our last one. And just to give you guys a quick update, we now have 427 followers on Facebook. I'm looking at the page. Woo! So we have climbed steadily since, I think, June is when we started really tracking it. So
it's like 100 since then, right?
Yeah, just about. So, hey, I'll take it. And, anything's good.
Welcome to the team, everybody.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about the podcast. So we had posed the question to everybody out there, and we asked for comments and input. And it was, where do you see the podcast going? Have we lost our way? Should we go back to our roots of modern combat? Because we started talking about the pirate thing, and is it really of interest and things like that? And some of the comments that came out were, you're one of the only sources for modern warfare gaming that I know of, and that's why I came to you. So, there was several of them that were like, stick to what you know, this is why I follow you, etc. And, I thought about this, and, obviously I'm looking at the rest of the team for their input as well. I think that we should concentrate on some modern, but I don't think we should be exclusively modern. I think we should dedicate some time, just a matter of how much, to other historical, because that's how we're going to grow our audience. Because modern in and of itself is a very small group, and we want to honor our original members and why they came to us. But in the same token, we want to be able to welcome other people as well, because we have friends in the gaming industry that have no interest in modern games. The most modern they'll go is World War II, right? Because some of them are veterans, and it's just too close to home if we get too modern, too recent in time. So I don't know what you guys feel. I'm okay with whatever. I just think there's a lot we could be doing to cover all aspects. But again, we want to honor the people that came to us originally and stuck through us all this time to follow along and see what we're doing. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think we should just. I think we should stick to what we're doing, diversifying a bit. I think it includes more people in our hobby, but I think what we might want to do is make specific days of the week for modern, just so that the people. So every week they're seeing something modern.
Yeah.
So that they don't feel like they're left out, because no one wants to feel like that. Hey, I come to this channel for this, but you guys don't post anything for it.
Yeah.
Well, if we have a certain day, like say Mondays, modern Mondays or whatever, then they feel included. And, that doesn't mean necessarily that we just only post modern stuff on Mondays. We can post it during the week because something might come out. But I think that we shouldn't forget about our modern members and stuff like that. But I think we should also think that if we want to grow our channel, well, we got to include other people in other genres.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that maintaining a focus on moderns, the people have spoken. That's kind of where we came from, So, in my mind, it's a little bit of you dance with the one that brung you. However, I've got a bunch of other stuff that I personally am working on that is historical, but not modern.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we should share that as well. But maybe just not make it the focus of the channel.
Sure. Jim, what do you think? You've really, tried to dedicate Sunday gaming to the modern aspect for the most part. So I'm just kind of curious as to your thoughts.
I actually remain kind of unmoved on the whole thing. We started off with modern, obviously, but even when we were just modern, even like I kind of joined in the beginning of 2019. So late 2018, early 2019, we were like exclusively modern. But even then, like the first thing I did when I joined the team was like, okay, we're going to redefine what the word modern means. Because modern has nothing to do with high-tech, special forces, tier 1 operator, little laser sights on the side of your helmet, whatever. Modern has to do with politics. Modern has to do with doctrine, has to do with training, has to do with geostrategic considerations. Modern is post-1945. So that right there, we opened it up a little bit. Yeah. But even when we were just modern, we would occasionally dip our toe in something non-modern. I think we did our anniversary for Market Garden, which was obviously not modern, while we were still modern. So we would still dip our toe. We've always had a little bit of a mix. Yeah. I think some of the other people that have already spoken have kind of hit it on the head where it's like, it's a question of ratio. I've always tried to do 50-50. 50 post 1945, 50 pre 45. And pre 1945 could be Okinawa. I mean, you're still technically not modern. Yeah. Again, that seems like a very sharp line, but it's sharp for a purpose. What makes modern warfare modern is television, the internet, the atomic bomb, and the United Nations. It's limited warfare. That's all. If you had to put modern warfare in a single word, it's limited. And in World War II, it was not limited, obviously. The end of Clausewitzian warfare, if you want to get all, highbrow about it or whatever. So I've been doing about 50-50. The only reason I started running Letters of Marque on Sundays was because I thought that's what the community wanted. We had that little poll, and it seemed like they voted for pirates. So I said, okay, I don't really know anything about pirates. I started running Letters of Marque, which isn't even really the best pirate game. But let's run it a couple times and see how it goes. And the streams were, outside of some technical issues, they were okay. But then we find out that the community didn't want this, so they want to go back to modern. So honestly, I'm a little confused.
Well, to be perfectly I'll tell you, they're going to get some pirates because I just bought a bunch of Blood and Plunder stuff. So.
No, sorry, Marty, you're going to have to take it all back now. Sorry, you're right.
The boat is painted. The minis are primed. I'm playing Blood and Plunder. Damn it!
I bought armies for. No, I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising anything. I'm talking to the community now.
Here we go.
Friggin' promising anything. So calm down. But the two more Op Center episodes, not even episodes, 2 more Op Center series, and they are definitely modern. I've dropped a couple $100 on minis on those already. So those are coming out. Yeah, in other words, I've never forgotten about moderns.
Ooh, teaser.
Moderns are definitely at least 50% of what I do. We ran moderns last week in Colombia. We're running moderns again today. 2005 British SAS in Iraq, one of their more historical missions. So, yeah, we're doing moderns. Again, whether or not we're going to switch it to 50-50, 75-25, 25-75, I mean, I'm up to whatever the team wants. God knows I've got enough crap, stuff I can run or whatever.
We're shocked to hear that, Jim.
Yeah, right. I think 50-50 is a pretty good balance. That's already heavily weighted towards modern. 50-50 means that we're putting 50% of our work toward the last 70 years of history, and we're putting 50% of our work to the previous 7,000 years of history.
Oh, that seems fair.
So, yeah, 50-50 is already pretty modern.
When you put it that way.
Hey, I'm a numbers guy. You always go with the numbers. Always go with the facts. Yeah, that's. I think I'm pretty much staying the course until someone tells me otherwise. I guess it's the short version.
Yeah. Okay. Gaz, you've been awfully quiet. I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah.
You always seem to be that polite Englishman with the sensibility, if you will.
Oh dear. I'm drinking tea, I'm not going to lie. So.
Somebody's got to be sensible.
Living up to the reputation. I think the hard part is obviously having a small focus means that you have a small group that follows. Having a wider focus has a wider group that follows. But if the content doesn't come thick and fast enough, they log in, watch the one pirate episode. We don't do pirate for 3 months, and therefore they drop back off again.
Right.
So I think rather than potentially opening up to as wide a history as we've stated, either focus for a period of time on a piece of history or a period, or literally pick some of the main ones and run with them as the additionals rather than keep it so broad.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can go all the way back to Rome's obviously very popular. I imagine we get a lot of history out of the Roman Empire. The Greeks could tie into that. But, we're starting to look at how broad a spectrum, because if nobody likes Romans, then they won't tune in. But a lot of people do. Pirates, for example, is quite a small pool, mainly based around Blood and Plunder becoming a very popular game. More than anything, because if you'd have plucked that out of the air prior to the miniatures, most people probably wouldn't have known that much about it.
True. No, that makes sense. Again, there he goes, the sensible Brit.
And he actually brings up a really good point, or makes me think about something. Is how, I mean, yes, we've opened up the books or whatever to all of history, but how far have we really strayed? I mean,
not far, honestly.
Since we've been doing, we're going to do all history. Well, the first thing is very daunting. Holy crap! How are we possibly going to come out with that much content? We haven't. Let's be fair. But okay, where have we really gone so far? Okay, we've done a lot of World War II because, and other than that, it's been American Revolution a couple times and pirates. And my American Revolution numbers weren't the best as far as views and comments and whatever, but that's to be expected. American Revolution isn't even that popular here in the United States. But I don't know if it was pirates. I mean, what do you guys think? Was it pirates that kind of triggered this?
Yes.
Hey, you guys have really, because I mean, for some people, pirates don't feel very historical. I mean, obviously we know they were, but for some people, I think they don't feel that way, which is a shame. But I think it is what it is. Do you guys kind of agree with that? Or
from my point of view, you're right on. You hit the target right at the bullseye. I think to a lot of people, to your point, they don't consider it historical. It's more popcorn, if you will, because they probably equate it to the freaking Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Let's be honest, right? The most popular thing in the last 15, 20 years. So,
related,
yeah. So, when it comes down to it, and how much true pirate historical literature or stuff did we review in school, in high school or whatever, sometime during your education, unless you were a true historical history major in college. Even then, how much did you really commit to piracy? And we're talking the actual, 1700s, 1600s, 1700s piracy. My extent of my education was probably a couple pages in a history book, and we talked about the East India Trading Company. That was it, right? So I think pirates in itself is one of those things that should not be a task that we commit a lot of time or energy to, because a lot of people are probably just not interested in it. I mean, let's not, slam blood and plunder. It's a great game. It's a great thing. But as an audience wide and to attract new members, it's not going to get you there.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Do we look at sort of the history behind the fiction, how we've done with 13 days equals 13 hours?
So far, with Pirates, we've done it exactly once. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even the most stupendous effort. I mean, It was like a couple hours of research on the internet. Sorry, Jim. I was thinking more general, as in, should that be the type of thing? Like Rourke's Drift, for example. Do we cover the history of what people have seen as the film Zulu? Do we look at modern filmography and what's been remade and say, this is the movie?
See, now there is an idea. That, I was kind of, when you started talking about it, it started clicking in my head, Gaz. We pick one of these pivotal movies, historical-based movies, and I'm just using Jim as an example, so Jim, don't freak out that I'm committing you to something. But let's take Rourke's Drift as an example. Okay, the movie Zulu. Okay, the Michael Caine movie. We could do it from a multi-pronged approach. We do some kind of, it could be the hex encounter type, like a Valor Victory game or something similar. I mean, I have 2 games right now for Rourke's Drift sitting on my shelf. So we could do that kind of playthrough. We could do a miniatures base, because I do have the Horns of Buffalo set from Warlord. So we could do the tabletop version. Jim could do almost like an op center that breaks down the movie and does a comparative to real life and explains it. You know what I'm saying? An analysis. Does that make sense? So
that makes sense. Other YouTubers have done that pretty extensively.
Okay.
The History Buff has taken the movie and deconstructed it compared to history, and some other guys. I would be up for it, but I'm just saying that it wouldn't exactly be breaking fresh ground on that.
All right. I was just wondering, are we reinventing the wheel here, or is there some meat on the bone that we could make these good projects? Was that something you were thinking of, Gaz?
Yeah, that was where I was kind of coming from, in that, because taking it all the way from the history and the fiction to digital play, being hex, and physical miniatures, and maybe even a physical table, would cover all elements of our hobby on a single time period, quite a small window that people know, therefore they'll click on it. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
Sounds bad, but it is.
But, also it gives us structure in a project. Just like the 13 hours, we had this goal, we knew how we were going to do this. So it gave us content in a way, because we knew we had to meet these timelines. We had to do this, yada, yada, yada. So, the only thing that stopped the tabletop video from going out, it's done, is the editing, because it's just so much raw footage. Like I said, I think the total filming time was 4.5 hours of filming time from 3 different cameras, and trying to consolidate it, because the camera's file system was dividing them up into snippets, like 29-minute snippets, because for whatever reason, the Europeans decided camera video files cannot be more than 29 minutes long. Why? I don't know. So I got to melt them all together so I can get a decent file, and then go ahead and edit them. So it's a work in progress. We're going to get there.
He said,
Rourke's Drift was just an example as well.
Yeah, no.
Roman battles, or you could really tie everything into some things that people don't know that much about, but recognize the 2 parties involved.
Yeah, let's not lie. You said Rourke's Drift, and Bill's eyes lit up. He's like, I've got it in the basement. Let's do it now.
That was definitely a dated trap.
Which, by the way, he does. So.
Well, I know we're kidding, but there is something to be said for, hey, let's start off with something that we're already equipped for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's not make it any harder on ourselves than we have to. If we've already got some stuff that would fit the bill, why not start there?
And I bet we could find printable Zulu warriors that Chris and I could print a ton of, and Gaz, on our resin printers.
I was gonna say, Chris, you're a resident printer junkie.
Yeah. I just bought another one too.
Nice.
I bought a large format printer.
I saw that.
Large.
Is that a CR one?
It's I have a favorite brand of filament, and it's made by Sunlu.
Okay.
It's one of their first printers.
Oh.
This is their very first printer, and it is huge, 12 by 12 by 15.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, you can print out cars 1-to-1 on it.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
In fact, so one I would like to see, just randomly
Go ahead.
while we were chatting, would be how we built up to the charge of the Light Brigade at the Battle of Belfast.
Oh, yeah.
Because we know the story of the charge, but very few people know anything about the build-up. So that would be a good one as an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
The Siege of Sevastopol, isn't it?
Yeah.
Korean War, 1853.
Yeah, I think it was in October the following year that the actual charge was. But yeah, what a crazy moment that they got the wrong valley and charged artillery with a cavalry.
I think that's...
And it's nothing like the movie.
Yeah.
They kind of kept going after they realized they had the wrong.
Like, we're in it. Yeah, we're in it now. Let's go, boys.
We're in it, and we have orders. If we turn around, we'll probably take even more cash. It was it was one of those moments.
Yeah,
I've got a history thing for you guys.
Okay.
Do you know where Victoria Cross has come from? Gaz probably knows.
Yes. Well, though there's only so much of it left.
It's metal from... Hold on, I know this. There's only...
Oh, an actual smelting question. Okay.
Yeah, it's the metal. Is it from a cannon? I can't remember, but it's the metal from some battle that there's only a very limited number, so I can't remember the exact, but I know why, or I just can't remember the actual details.
Yeah, so it's two cannons from the Crimean War that the British captured.
Yeah.
But I think there was another cannon used prior to that, I want to say.
See, this American ain't as dumb as he looks.
Well, I've had a Victoria Cross in my hand
multiple
times. Yeah, because I'm a former Seaforth Highlander.
Oh.
When I joined the Canadian Armed Forces when I was 16 as an Army reservist, and my best friend, who's no longer alive, his great uncle was Smokey Smith, who was Canada's last Victoria Cross winner.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
I'm a big fan of old Captain Charles Upham, who's one of the few people that has a VC with a bar, which means he won the second one.
Yeah. He's got two?
He won two.
All right. Somebody's got to tell me that guy's story sometime.
And he's a New Zealander.
Yeah.
During the Second World War.
Africa was the first one, I believe. Or both of them in Africa.
So crazy. Some crazy people out there.
Right.
Some ridiculous moments of bravery. I think there's only 3 people who've got 2. I think one was a medic or a surgeon. I can't remember much about him. I don't know the second one, and Charles Upham was the third one because I did a lot of reading up on him. But these are the people, these are the moments that we could touch on that, people know the fragment of information, or they've seen a little bit of a film, or know the story, but don't know the history. And therefore we can bring that through hobby to them as well.
Yeah. I like that. I like the prospect of taking an event and having an educational opportunity to it as well as game playing it, because I like the idea. I don't know what you guys think. Obviously Gaz thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, I'm down. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more and more relevant. It's not just something, that it's not just a scenario made up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really cool history out there that maybe not everyone knows that would be good to share.
Yeah. And then the way with this is you could pick some battles from certain conflicts, and whether there's a movie or a book or something, do an educational portion of it and then replay it. It could be a certain battle. I'm going to use the American Civil War as an example. You could do some battle in the American Civil War. We'll say Chickamauga. You could do Chickamauga, and there could be a video presentation, and this is the battle. This is what people believed. This is the reality of it. Because part of it is you could do a video thing on the actual conditions. Because why I'm thinking of this is I just saw a news piece last night about a teacher up in somewhere in Canada, Saskatchewan. Yeah. Is that how you pronounce it? And he made his history students dig a trench, like in World War I.
Yeah. Yep. Have fun with that, boy.
Yeah, right.
So they dug a 9-meter long trench, 6 meter or 2 meter deep, and they put in the wood planking, and it was wet and muddy, and so they got to see how troops of World War I truly experienced the battle, obviously outside of the gunfire and the gas and the artillery and yada yada, but the actual living conditions, and to be able to highlight the truth in some of the education. This is what happened without being gruesome. Obviously, we want it to be educational but not gruesome, and then to relevate transition into gaming and then into miniature. So Gaz could do a Bruin view on how this soldier's uniform would look, and paint it, yada, yada. And, we can have Chris or myself or Marty or somebody could do a terrain piece. And then Jim has got, the video production of the educational part, or, a digital virtual game, and then the miniatures. And it could be in different scales, which is nice, because obviously such like a Civil War battle is going to be in a smaller scale, because you're not going to do it in 28 millimeter unless you're insane. So
that doesn't disqualify any of us.
Yeah. I was going to say they're not currently using the football stadiums for football, so we can set the game up there.
Yeah.
We'd have to.
I don't know, Jim, what do you think? You've been awfully quiet.
I'm just listening.
Okay. The wheels are turning.
This sounds a little bit like what we've been doing on Sundays.
Yeah.
Although not on a multi-spectrum basis.
Mm-hmm.
I would just advise that we take it a little light on the history, only because, at least from my experience, I don't know, maybe the history isn't boring, maybe I'm just boring. People tend to start, I started hearing a lot of foreheads bouncing off of keyboards.
Gotcha.
When I'm into minute 45 of how the Battle of Prokhorovka was actually set up, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get much more directly into the gameplay.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what more people are getting into. That may not be true for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I may not be 100% accurate, but that would be my only advice on that.
I think your op centers do quite well, don't they, Jim? I know they're more modern, the recent ones.
Yeah, the op centers do very well.
Yeah, the ship. When you did the stuff in the Pacific recently, I think I listened to a lot of them, and they seem to have really good numbers as well.
Cool, thank you. They're very brief though. They're in, out, hello, goodbye. 14 to 15 minutes now. That seems to be kind of a magic length for a YouTube video. Is keep it short and sweet.
Most definitely.
Jim, you're trying to keep a long story short.
There you go. Sun's over the yardarm.
All right.
Here we go.
Crack that bottle open.
Yeah, I'm looking at our numbers now. I'm looking at op centers. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Stop it. Gee, I know that music somewhere.
That's going to be my new Imperial March right there. That's going to be the heuristic.
Wait, Jim, you're Imperial. You're on the wrong side, buddy.
Oh.
Hey, we're the new American Empire. Here it comes.
Ooh,
the revolution.
Damn.
We didn't conquer it. We just bought it. It's fine.
Okay, Jim, do you know what our number one video is right now?
On YouTube?
Yes.
It is our Panzer Leader tutorial.
Yes, it is.
Like one of the sloppiest videos I ever made. And for some reason, that one just caught. And I don't know. The algorithm has spoken. I don't know.
This is in the last 28 days. So it's not even, since this video came out. This is in the last 28 days.
Well, that's Zipf's law. That's an actual mathematical theorem.
Yeah.
It's the more hits something gets, the more hits it's going to
get.
When something gets a bit of momentum, it just takes off because people say, "Oh, there's something going on there. I'll click on that." If you're scrolling through your YouTube feed and you see something with like 20 views, you're like, "Eh." If you see something with, what is it up to now, like 1,600 or something like that?
Let me look.
You see something with a bunch of views, yeah, you're
going to 1,900, bud.
1,900, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think YouTube's algorithms help there as well because, like you say, more views, they push more to get more people to look at it.
It's literally math, and I'm sure that's cooked into the algorithms that YouTube uses. But yeah, that's the old law where it's like in business they talk about it a lot. It's like 20% of your customers give you 80% of your revenue. 20% of your customers give you 80% of your complaints. It's always that whole 80-20 thing. So yeah, the more views something gets, the more comments something gets, the more clicks, the more however it is you're tracking your metrics, the more it gets, the more it's going to get. Just seems to be the
right.
I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but I've read on it, and it's a thing. So once something gets like above like a couple hundred, it kind of takes off a little.
Yeah, it does.
Some of the op centers are approaching 1,000. I know that's not terribly impressive for a lot of YouTube channels. For us, it's pretty good.
No, I think it's grand.
Yeah, because we're just kind of starting out. But yeah.
I can see like Chris's camo netting has 243 views, and it may not seem like a lot to some people out there, but that's a lot when you're talking about what we do and those type of things. So no, I mean everything is really doing pretty well. I mean the View and Brews with Gaz, like your the one unboxing, that was your what was it? The Pirates, right?
Yeah, the Blood and Plunder.
Yeah, so I mean, everything is, it just depends. And to Jim's point, yes, once it starts hitting a certain number, then YouTube starts promoting it a little bit more, posting it out there. But I think we're doing pretty darn good. But the Op Center, just on a standpoint, is high quality stuff because there's a lot of effort put into it, and you can tell. And then the View and Brews are definitely up there. Wow, look at that. Your Yom Kippur video has 847 views.
Wow. Yeah, episode 3. That's an old one, too.
Yeah, episode 3. It definitely grew. And you gained us 8 subscribers because of that video. So.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I think we're doing tremendous work. We're doing tremendous work. And, we know to grow, you can't stagnate or you don't grow, right? So I think we do what we do best. I think the multi-prong approach is a good idea. I think like Modern Mondays, just to highlight something on modern so we keep to our roots, is a good idea. It's just a matter of, okay, what is our next focus? I.e. Rourke's Drift? Is it the Alamo? Go ahead.
I was just we could like focus a certain amount of time to moderns. I mean, we kind of already are, but we could formalize it a little if we wanted to. We don't really have anything coming out on Mondays, and as it is, we're having some hang-ups with producing on Tuesdays and Thursdays anyway.
Yes.
So
once we get that all straightened out, then
let's not add another day to the schedule.
I agree. Okay. I think at this point in time, we take the time slots we've already started developing, get those working fluidly and regularly, and then we can talk about other. So, I mean, we can use the Tuesdays or Thursday slots to do modern stuff. We don't have to dedicate another at this point because, we would have to bring in additional people to help do that because, everybody's got projects they're doing, and we also have regular lives we have to deal with. So, it's unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, this isn't our full-time job, so, and, in some cases it's almost like a full-time job once you're doing production and editing and yada, everything else you got to do for it. So,
It's every single weekend.
Yeah, so
half of every Saturday and most of every Sunday is getting ready for the Sunday game. I basically don't have weekends anymore.
So that, it's a lot of engagement, a lot of, if there's people out there that are looking to take the next step in hobbying and reach out to us, and we'll see if, there's a place for you on the command team. But for right now, we need to hone what we have, get it running like a well-oiled machine, and then we can go from there. So we'll just mix up our content and make sure we're hitting some modern stuff. But I do like the idea of picking an event, as Gaz has suggested, and, approaching it from different, areas. Because like I said, I liked how we did 13 days of 13 hours, because it gave us structure, and I liked having that structure. So, the next project will go much smoother. I can promise you that. Once we get the cameras set up, there was a lot of things from the tabletop aspect that could have run smoother, and that's because just the way things ended up, the timing of it while I was trying to move to Florida. So, but regardless of that, you learn and you move on from there. So, the tabletop version is coming out. I promise you that it's still coming. I know I say that every time, but it's just, that keeps taking a little longer than expected, but it's coming out. So I think to answer people's comments and concerns out there, we will work on the modern content as well. And, obviously, like Jim said, 50-50, and then we'll start examining other events like Gaz suggested. Because I like the variety when we work on projects, because, as much as I like moderns, and as you all know, Chris and I started this channel 3 years ago now, Chris.
Oh my God.
It's been 3 years. Can you believe that? We had this idea of, doing modern warfare only, and because nobody else was really doing it at the time. And we still really enjoy doing it, and there's a lot to do, but then, we're still hobbyists and gamers at heart, and we still have other interests. Chris was doing some French Indian warfare stuff. I still have the Rourke's Drift or the Alamo projects, so all those things. And, I have Napoleonics I still want to do at some point, in 6 mil. And so, there's a lot to do. And I know Gaz has probably got some areas of interest that he would like to explore. And I imagine Jim has some areas of interest that he would like to explore, and Marty would as well. So, while we stay to the main recipe, we want to start adding some side dishes, if you will. So, mix up the menu a little bit. Any last comments on the direction of the channel? Do you guys comfortable with those ideas?
Napoleonics is a deep rabbit hole.
that was a lifelong project.
That was a big one.
What, Chris? I'm sorry, Chris. Did I hear you just volunteer to print the entire Waterloo battle on a 1-to-1 basis?
No.
On his printer, he can do it in 2 runs.
It's only 200,000 guys. We'll have that done in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, if we do it in 6 mil, right? All right. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about gaming news and events. Can I start? Because one thing just keeps popping up to me that will make an awesome next modern battle tabletop. Did you guys, and obviously somebody saw it because they posted it, the SEAL Team 6 made the rescue?
Yep.
In Nigeria? Damn it, those Navy SEALs stealing all the glory.
Well, the week before, it was the SAS,
Right?
and a hijacked tanker.
Yes.
Yeah. The SBS, I think.
SBS, yeah.
Sorry, SBS.
Not to steal those guys' glory, because it might come knocking in the dark.
But yeah.
Their tea didn't even get cold. That operation went so fast.
We talked about SBS in the Falklands episodes. We have not forgotten about the SBS.
And you know what? I think they copied me, because I've been talking about doing this whole scenario about raiding a tanker, and damn it, the SBS had to go and show me up.
We're still the tankers.
Yeah, the SBS.
And now it's modern history.
The SBS are totally sit rep subscribers. They're like,
Right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome, by the way.
It would be.
They're like, you know what? We should bloody do that at 1-to-1 scale. Let's show these Americans how it's done. Next thing you know, they do it for real.
You know what we need to do, Jim? I just thought of something. We need to find out their mailing address to their company or what squadron, whatever they call them, and send them a box of T-shirts and sweatshirts and say, thanks for being supporters of the channel.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for stealing our ideas. By the way,
can you take a picture, please? I'm okay if you fuss out your face, but, could you take a picture wearing your sweatshirts? That'd be cool.
Oh my God! Like I said, we're running SAS in Iraq later today, and I was like, I want to know what kind of weapons they use, what kind of gear they used. I went to British SAS in Iraq. I could not find a single picture with them with their actual faces, either blurred out or blacked out. I think I found a couple where they were like in training.
Yeah,
and even then they were wearing like masks and goggles and stuff like that. I'm like, holy crap, man! These guys don't play around.
Nope.
That is correct.
You know what we need to do? We have a connection in the British Army.
Here we go.
I think we should start out.
You don't on air have a connection in the British Army that's got anything to say about special.
What I'm saying is, this said connection, we send him a care package of shirts and sweatshirts, and he gets some of his comrades together at the facility he works at, and have a picture saying, "We support the SITREP." Yeah.
Hell no. I don't want to be the target in the UK. Something's wrong. When all the Muslims that come out and go, we don't want it, let's find Gazis in the UK. I've got his address because that's how bad we are for security. You can look us up on Google Earth. You'll see me waving. No, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. So,
shot glasses, okay?
Oh, shot glasses! You could do it for your next. What do you call it? Dine in.
That's how I could definitely get them to do it.
Your next match.
I'll send you the tankards.
All right. Yeah.
The official gym tankards.
Oh God.
That would be cool.
Yeah. With the Battle of Oriskany on the table, you're going to hand it out to a bunch of British guys.
There you go. Hey, remember this one, fellas?
Why have we heard from Gaz in a while? I don't know. I mean, actually, they wouldn't mind. Number one, they probably wouldn't know it. Number two, there were really no British troops. There were no British troops at that battle. And number three, there was technically a crown victory. So, yeah, they probably wouldn't mind it very much.
I kid you not, they'd think it was Eastern Front, Second World War.
When I first joined Beasts of War back in the day, the number of different ways Orkashani was mispronounced. It was like 12 of them. I'm like, guys, it's not that hard. It's a 4-letter word. It's a 4-syllable word. But it's a little unfamiliar to a lot of people, so no worries.
So, getting back to it. So, SEAL Team 6 does it again. So, between them and the SBS, there's 2 new scenarios that can be played out. Pretty cool. All right, Chris.
Start looking at it, isn't there? Yeah.
Chris, what do you got for us news-wise?
News-wise, there's a lot of news. Empress Miniatures dumped a lot of miniatures out onto the market this week. From everything from some new modern stuff, some Vietnam stuff. We've got some Huey crews.
Yeah, I know. Those are nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they look good. We've got, let's see what else. We got some World War I. We've got some towed artillery, some howitzers. And they're in a more colonial uniform, so you could use them for Bathsheba. Yeah, it was the anniversary of Bathsheba yesterday. So the last major cavalry charge in the world, like the Australian Light Horse yesterday. So that was the anniversary of that yesterday. What else do we have? We have Full Metal Miniatures brought out a whole bunch of Vietnamese civilians that look really good. We've got Company B brought out some 1941 American infantry for the Philippines. So very early war.
So they almost look British.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we've got from Grey Matter Games, I believe that's the name of Gray for Now Games. That's what it is. They got their new expansion for Test of Honor coming out as well, and that looks really interesting because it gets more into the clans, and it gives them more special rules for the clans. It's looking really good. And then we've got some more Empress stuff for Afghanistan, but it's not. Well, I guess it could be used for modern. It's an ox cart for civilians. We're seeing a lot of civilian models coming into our gameplay now. I noticed First Corps has gotten a bunch of refugees coming out for miniatures. And then I found a new company putting out new modern miniatures. I think they're still working on the sculpts at this moment. Let's see if I can pronounce.
Is it Antholac or whatever it's called?
Yeah, Antholac War Games.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look really good.
I've got posts up for all the links for all that on our Facebook group. And what else has come out? They've also got some civilians.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. They call it Blue Light Miniatures, I think is what.
Blue Light, yeah.
Yeah, they look good.
What else has come out there? Our friends at Miniature Building Authority have gotten some new stuff coming out.
Yeah.
More Adobe style kind of buildings and walls.
Yep.
I did a lot of posting this week. And SITREP. Spectre Miniatures has got some new miniatures coming out.
Yeah.
Which was nice to see.
And they're Halloween special.
Yes, and the costume one. Yeah. Yep. I was a little surprised because I hadn't seen anything for so long. And then all of a sudden there's like 4 or 5 new miniatures, and I was really pleased to see that. Plastic Soldier Company. They've got some new 20 mil SS coming out in their Sinocast. So in the new plastic, that's coming out. I've seen Pierce painted some.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. I'm sharing my screen to you guys on Skype if you can see it.
They're so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Empress also brought out some new vehicles in resin for World War II. Actually, some Canadian vehicles for World War II and the British version as well. Renedra has brought out or is bringing out a plastic Adobe style 2-story and 3-story building kit. So that'll be good for historical and for modern.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't it it's like a 3-building kit? Am I picking the right one? Yeah. Yeah, those look pretty nice.
Yep. So I was also admiring this guy's work. It's from a site called Walkabout Games. He's painting up some Anzacs, and they look damn good. They look really good.
Done. My Anzac army is probably about 3 or 4 days away from being finished.
Wow.
For right now, and then I'm back to the NVA and VC, and I'm hoping to play games by December.
Very nice. Now, is this contrast paints you used on these guys?
Yeah, I use mostly contrast paints because I want to turn out the stuff.
Nice.
Because I've learned in the last 2 years or 3 years that I've got so much stuff, and if I ever want to play it, I gotta start turning it out a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So I have been using the GW contrast paints, but I have been making my own GW contrast paints.
Oh, really?
And I'm trying to work out a way of showing how to make those on video.
No, walk about contrast.
Yeah. Because contrast paints are nothing new. Everybody thinks they're this amazing new product. No, it's been around forever. I think my dad taught me how to make contrast paints. My dad's also the one who taught me how to use oil paints when painting miniatures and models and stuff like that. And oil paints is one of those things that I think that it's been around since the 30s. People did that technique, but things have just improved. With new products, things change. They improve what it looks like.
Nice.
New marketing,
yeah.
But other than that, I think that is it for new items. I don't think I've missed anything.
No, I think you did pretty good. I wanted to mention another thing, and again, this is historical but not modern. Have you seen what the Perrys are doing with the Civil War campaign that they are?
Yeah,
It is insane. The table they're using and
posting pictures too.
Yeah. It's amazing. One of these days, I got to get invited to their house.
Yeah, I think it was Alan. Alan was on War Games Illustrated's YouTube channel the other day, being interviewed, and he was talking about his Egyptian Napoleonic campaign miniatures. And I had no idea some of the history behind that, and it was very fascinating.
Yeah.
It's very early Napoleonic.
Yeah, very.
Like
I think it was 1805.
1798 to 99 was like the Nile campaign. Yeah, it goes back a ways.
Yeah.
Is it just an urban legend, or is that where the Sphinx supposedly lost his nose?
Apparently, it lost his nose from a cannon shot.
Yeah, Napoleon took a shot at with one of his 12-pounders or something. I've never known how accurate that is, but that's
wait a minute. Who lost their nose?
The Sphinx.
Oh,
the famous statue in Egypt.
Yeah.
I think Napoleon's gunners literally shot it off.
Shut up! Really?
That's what I've heard. That does not have the Oriskany, seal of approval, but that is what I've heard.
No kidding.
That's what I've read.
That's what I heard through the rumor mill as well.
Yep.
Well, see, you learn something every day on this channel. Now you know why the Sphinx doesn't have a nose. Damn Napoleon. He did it in spite of his face. Ah!
He'll get his coat now. I mean, we've got Americans, we've got Englishmen on the channel. We can all agree that the French are terrible.
Wait a minute, Chris. Are you French Canadian?
I'm a Canadian, and I can definitely state that.
No. Apologies to all of our French viewers, but no, I'm just kidding.
There goes both of them.
Oh, Lord. Oh, well, what are you going to do? All right. Well, that catches up on the news. And, hey, to everybody out there listening, if you have things you'd like to, bring us up to date speed on as far as news, make sure you, post on our Facebook page or join our Discord channel for conversations there. Most definitely. So,
in fact, I've just thought of one that.
Yeah.
So we mentioned on the news last time briefly the Canadian sections for bolt action of the D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Their bundles for that are now up for pre-order on Warlord Games.
Oh, okay.
They've bundled pre-existing models together to make up the sections. I think what was it they were doing? They were doing they're doing the Luftwaffe field divisions, the Waffen SS, the 12th SS Hitler Jugend.
Hitler Jugend.
Yeah, and then I think the rest, German Grenadiers were in there for the Germans as well. And then I think the rest was predominantly British Army, British Commandos, because it's very similar equipment and kit. But they've bundled them, so you can literally just buy a bundle to play the campaign, which is quite cool. In fact, on the same one, Victory at Sea is now up for pre-order for the starter fleets with the rule books.
In hardback, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Damn it.
And again, that was Royal Navy, Imperial Japanese Navy, US Navy, and the Kriegsmarine.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good. In fact, on the World War II front, Battlefront Miniatures have just released a new sort of accessory set for each of the nations that is something like 20 tokens, a couple of objectives, and 16 dice. And their acrylic token sets from Battlefront are really, really nice.
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
And they've sort of done one for each of the main nations. I think there's one for the Waffen separately as well.
Nice.
And they've done some for Team Yankee. So you can get the same setup, but for the Team Yankee sets if you want to do sort of a up-to-date modern.
Yeah, I have a token set for the Americans for Team Yankee when the original ones they produced when the sets first came out back when. So no, they're really nice tokens. They do a really nice job, and I like how they back them with the felt. So
yeah, it's really good for mats because I found with some of the plastic bases, if you have the tag still sort of on the edge of your base and you move it across the neoprene mats, it can sometimes you get that snag feeling. Mm-hmm. And you don't want that on a mat because you bought the mat to protect your table as well. But I think they had a couple of new army bags as well, like a drab green one for the World War II and a sort of a modern bright camo for the Team Yankee one.
Excellent.
And they had final thing they had. It did catch my eye was like an art book, like the Art of War or something, which is it's a combination of the last 15 years mixed illustrations from Flames of War.
Yeah,
I think it's Second World War. Where it's been focused on, but they do some really nice artwork if you like that, their covers and the artwork through their books. I think it is purely just an art book, but it was that was in amongst it for the December releases as well.
Yeah, that's a nice reference. I thought those were really good, and there was something I was just going to say and I totally forgot. But yeah, dang it, I can't remember. Okay, projects. Chris, what are you working on currently?
Anzacs will be finished this week for Vietnam. I'm just doing the finishing basing.
Nice.
Finished until I get a new Centurion tank. And then I'm starting the NVA. I've cleaned and primed all my Warsaw pack for North Hag.
Okay.
I am printing clear resin flight stands for all my aircraft. Hopefully this week if the resin shows up. I've almost finished my first 13 pirates for Blood and Plunder.
Jeez.
What else?
Do you ever
I've been
sleep?
printing defenses for Juno Beach as well. So I've got Belgian gates being printed and Tellermine logs and a bunch of other things being printed. I've also printed a couple of the actual replicas of the bunkers that were on Juno Beach. I think it's Nan Green. Was it Nan Green? Yeah, Nan Green.
Yep.
So I've got that.
There's Nan and Mike, and they each have a red and green sector. So there's four in all. But I've been there.
So
They've actually built a cafe in one of the old German bunkers. You can buy iced tea and ice cream there.
Yeah, right along the. Yeah. And I'm also printing the beach walls.
Huh.
That's what I've been up to.
Nice.
So it's been a quiet week.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Do you sleep at all?
No.
He's a machine. It's out of control.
What is this sleep of you speak of?
Yes. Plenty of time to sleep when dead.
Yeah, and also, I'm painting a whole bunch of stuff for my son for Star Wars.
Nice.
So, yeah. That's me.
All right. Gaz?
No, none for me this week. I've been having a bit of a reorg of space and such. I did receive I picked up for myself a new table that's a fold-away one.
Okay.
So I can scale up. It's from GameMat.eu. It's a 6x4 and it should be able to fold down to, well, I don't know yet. But essentially it's something you can, tuck by a sofa or behind something. So I'll probably get some pictures of that as I go through the process, maybe do a video on it once I understand how to put it up and break it down swiftly as a bit of a review for people. It's a considerable investment. I know Marty and I were chatting about it, but for those of us that I live in a small flat, so space is a massive premium where I am. To be able to compact down a 6x4 and tuck it away, that's not just wood being put on a small table, so you bang it or it slides. It'd be quite cool to have.
Sure.
If I had gas money, I would have bought two of them. But
and I've been picking up some gaming mats, so maybe I'll look into covering a few of the deep cut mats that I've
awesome.
ordered and picked up.
You know what you could? I was just thinking, Gaz. You could do kind of like a little bit of a series. See, here I go. Again, other people do work. A series on gaming in limited space or compact spaces. How to get the most of gaming in a small space.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 9 or 10 foot wide, and probably 17, 18 feet long, and that's my kitchen and my living area and my dining area all together. So even the glass table I've got in here will be tucked out the way so that I can put a table in.
Gotcha.
It almost sounds like the staff NCO BEQs that we used to. No, I'm serious. It's almost basically quarters they used to call it.
Yeah, neither of the bedrooms with what's in them, just the beds and such, have enough space for me to put a 6x4 up. So it's got to be in here, and it had to be able to be packed away. So a bit of a juggle around to make it so that I can hobby, which is kind of crazy when we're in the time of the situation where I'll have nobody around to hobby either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. What a great time to plan all this in when nobody can actually come and play.
Well, then that's when we have to start exploring, okay, we're all locked down, nobody can socialize, yada, yada. Let's talk virtual gaming, right? How do we virtually game in the virtual world? And Jim has a show on Sundays where he does virtual gaming, and we can look at other options at some point. So how do we help the people with their hobby when they can't be together?
Yeah.
So.
We just have them send all their stuff to me, and I'll play with it.
Contact Oriskany. He needs opponents on Sunday.
That's right, guys.
Opponents against each other. I'll just run the game.
I put into an order 2 White Dragon miniatures for some British infantry, but unfortunately they're out of stock at the moment.
Oh.
I messaged them directly. He said they're going to be back in stock hopefully in the next week or 2. That all might change because we're going back into lockdown next week.
Yeah.
I say we. I don't mean me necessarily because we've been told we'll work on regardless, but we shall see what happens with that.
But to make it fair, they're just going to take away all your days off. So, you got to take off for you.
They did that with one of the other units on camp. They actually did that.
They didn't take away our time off. They told us we were taking time off on it. The entire company shut down for a week.
Yeah.
Because people were just building up too much vacation, and it was like, all right, guys, we know what's going to happen. We're going to come off of lockdown, and the entire company is going to be on vacation for 2 months. That can't happen. So rather than take away your time off, you're going to get your time off. We're just going to tell you that you're taking some of it right now, and don't bitch about it.
I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, kind of.
They'd have been all right if they'd have done that to all 3 units on my station, but they did it to one of the 3 units. So you can imagine some lads looking at us going, "Oh, you've had leave took off your card, have you?"
Don't laugh so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fear ain't over yet.
No, we'll see. We'll see what brings. I won't know anything until tomorrow when we go in. But so yeah, if I do get the time, then I'll have time to do some filming and some hobby. And if not, then it'll just be we're just getting fragged at the minute. So my hobby is very small.
Gotcha. All right, Martin.
Well, as I stated earlier, I got into Blood and Plunder, so I have a private or a pirate and privateers starter set.
Mm-hmm.
I have a French starter set and the bark, one of the smaller boats, like the next step down from a sloop. So I figured that was probably enough to be able to get me to be able to play a small game. So the bark is almost done. The privateer starter box is primed, and the French in true fashion are sitting underneath my desk, not doing a damn thing. So, well, I mean, between the 2 starter sets, it's like 50 dudes. So, I figure I, better take it easy there. As well as I have, let's see. So I took the Desperado starter set, the Western, not starter set, core box, the Western game Desperado that Knuckle Duster does. So I built the 3 buildings for Cowtown, 4 if you include the outhouse. So I built those. Those are all done. And then I primed and started painting some of those characters. I think there's 13 of them, maybe 14, 15, right in that ballpark. So yeah, I've got a ton of little dudes on my desk right now. And then I think I'm going to maybe make some play mats. You guys are all getting the really cool ones. I'm gonna make some. So
I didn't know you could knit.
Well, I'm a man of many talents, guys. Don't hate.
Crochet, fencing, it's all that.
I mean, come on. You got me knitting. I'm pretty sure you're putting helicopters back together with duct tape. So let's not judge things.
In all seriousness, when my girlfriend and I first met, I had just gotten out of the Marine Corps, and something came up, and I started sewing, like to repair something that tore. She's like, "I can't believe you know how to sew." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
like Marines know how to sew. I'm like, dude, we have to put on our own rank insignia. We're always, altering our own clothes. The Marines are some sewing fools.
Well, yeah, and
you know how to
sew out the field.
Yeah.
My parents made sure I knew how to sew before I went into the Army.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, they taught you. Trust me.
Yeah. You gotta learn.
Yep.
But other than that, so Chris and I have been super busy setting up the studio in Chris's basement as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, lots of equipment, lots of stuff that we don't know nothing about. Bill can attest to that through the many phone calls and messages. But we have, we're at the 95% solution here. So, when you get a chance to come over and check it out, you can tell us where we've jacked it up and
no problem. I definitely will tell you where it's wrong.
Yeah. Shocker. We didn't see that coming. So we are on the cusp of being able to produce content here, and we're pretty excited about that. So we figure we can maybe do some playthroughs on games and whatnot, as well as a little bit of hobbying content. We'll just kind of see where that takes us as we go along.
The foxhole is dug. It's now position improvement time.
Yep.
I think that's it. I mean, I'm not cool like Chris. I don't have 17 printers running 24/7, as well as
you've got one. Somebody knows how to use it.
Chris has to have a small army of like children or elves.
He's got Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, he's got to have something. Yeah, there's no way he's doing this solo. I'm not buying it.
I'm gonna have to record myself daily, constantly, so you guys see me painting this stuff.
You're gonna have to put up a live stream, and it just stays on.
Yeah.
All right, James, you are up.
Oh, it's gonna be a short one. Practically nothing. A little bit of burnout and a whole lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
We are keeping the lights on as far as the Sunday games, so we're still working on that. As far as putting together virtual games for the community and things of that nature. Again, to address the question from earlier in the show, if you guys get back to me and let me know which Valor and Victory Modern sets you guys are interested in, I will put them together into print sheets if that's what you're looking for. I just can't do all of them because there are literally 6 or 7 complete sets, each with at least 2 or 3 factions. So 7 sets times 2 factions times at least 2 or 3 sheets per faction. You're talking about almost 40 sheets at 2 hours a piece. That's just not realistic. So that'll be part of my hobby apparently. Going forward. So if you guys let me know which ones you're looking for, I'll definitely get started on those.
Can I get you to print those out and cut them for me too, Jim?
Yeah, sure. I'll get coffee and Danish too while you're at it. Such your slippers. Don't be surprised if they end up someplace you didn't expect them.
Wait, what?
There you go.
All right. Well, to wrap it up, so obviously I haven't done too much. Just been doing some consulting to my fine friends there at the SitRep Studio East as they get it set up. And then, so we'll have 2 studios up there in SitRep headquarters land. When I move back to the original headquarters, we'll have the second studio up and running so we can do some production there because we have enough equipment to do several setups. So, hopefully we'll be able to do some, start cranking out the material on a regular basis. Other than that, I have not really done any hobbying. It's just been crazy down here. As we decide where we're living this week, So, again, I'm moving back to Illinois.
So do you and Don have to roll for initiative to decide where you're going to live next week?
It does seem like that, doesn't it? So.
Bill, and they're on the old. What's it? The old D&D, like they call them like wandering monster tables.
Yes.
Like, where are they this week?
Exactly.
Encounter a random Bill and Dawn. Oh, okay. I hope they're friendly. What's their alignment? They're chaotic angry right now.
Which reminds me, there's this really awesome modern RPG game out there.
Go ahead.
Maybe when, the colder winter months set in and people are locked down in their house and they need some socialization but can't, maybe we can get another RPG campaign going there in the old HK Ops. If you guys don't know what HK Ops is, you need to check back on some of the live streams. They're on YouTube, right, Jim? We have them copied onto live too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I know we did them Twitch.
Like 6 hours apiece, but they're there.
So you obviously don't have to listen to 6 hours an episode, but you can scan through it and get an idea of HK Ops. Now this is Jim's homebrewed game. I mean, so you guys, it's a really good. And I am going to dedicate my time, God willing, and the flood waters don't rise, to the next campaign. I know there's a couple of people who are really interested in playing another campaign. So, hopefully we can do that. But it's a really good time. And
we can get 4 dedicated, and I mean dedicated with a capital D, 4 dedicated players. Like you said it, you actually hit the nail right on the head. You said, we need to get another campaign going. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there when everyone else is there. When we get a campaign going, like a crew, we can start to discuss it. But right now it's just way too much work to do on like the idea that maybe some people will be interested in coming on this journey with us, so to speak. So put on your walking shoes, because we're going for a little trip.
Excellent.
So Jim, any thoughts on concept for the next one? Like,
I don't know if there's going to be a next one. It depends on what the players say.
Well, sign me up. I am putting the oath of enlistment right now.
Yes, I do solemnly swear to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I solemnly swear to play HK Ops every scheduled session.
Well, so far we've done. Oh God, we started off in Mexico in Cartel Land. We did. Okay, so for people who may not know, because super fast, we're running out of time. We're talking about modern, like happened yesterday, happens next week. Our military RPG. We played technically private military contractors.
Mm-hmm.
And we chose that route because we thought that it would allow people to a little bit more freedom in character generation. You don't have to be from the same country. You don't have to be in the Army or the Marines or Navy SEAls. You can be like us. Like Jen plays a former South African SWAT or whatever they call them, star police officer or whatever. We've got a Danish. Guess who this is? A Danish sniper that used to like shoot poachers in Greenland or something.
Big dog.
Yep. So, and then we've been to Mexico, we've been to Venezuela. It's this little island like between Japan and North Korea. Spent a lot of time in Syria. I think we did like 4 sessions in Syria, 4 or 5, 6 hours apiece. We did like 30 hours in Syria. So we're all over the place. So, it's based in, like, you work for a PMC company in, I think it's Alexandria, like right outside the Beltway up there in Virginia somewhere. So you're close to Langley and Quantico and all that kind of stuff. And, from there you just get missions. And, like, it's a kind of a globetrotting campaign. You go wherever. So as far as, like, what the campaign concept is, Marty, that's what it is. What the next campaign would be depends on, what players are kind of interested in. The basic campaign is set up. You're a member of Phalanx Multinational Consulting, PMC, private military contractor. It's, nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
And you get sent off on missions. The group gets sent off on missions. There's a team. You have a case officer. He's kind of like your boss. or at the moment I think it's a she. She's kind of like your boss. You get sent out on these little, missions, and you have to do the mission and, come back. You earn XP. You try to keep your sanity intact, and things like that. There's a little bit of military realism in it as far as detail and things like that, but it's mostly character driven.
Yeah.
And it's pretty realistic, or at least it aims to be semi-realistic. There's no resurrection spells. There's no health packs. There's no, wizards. There's no clerics. You get shot, you are probably dead. Or if not dead, you're knocked out of the mission because you're going to be recovering somewhere for a while. One time our friend Brun got hit. His character got hit. He was in some kind of rehab for like 17 weeks or something. I mean, there's actually a chart that says, oh, you need this many months to come back from this level and this many months to come back from this one level. And, you make a die roll, and then your doctor makes a die roll, and there's an actual like medical recovery mechanic in there. Mm-hmm. You can lose willpower, you can lose sanity, you can lose humanity. You can actually get PTSD in this game. Your character can. We try to make it a little realistic, but at the same time, it's a light role playing game that we want to have fun with.
You try to minimize the hurry up and wait?
It's always your turn. The game system is the actual mechanics are very light. I don't know. Have you seen any of the episodes? They're really
how realistic it is, and the hurry up and wait is a thing that people don't expect when they're thinking about military stuff.
No, I don't know, Bill, if you can speak to this, I think you were in a couple episodes, especially the combat system. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick. You're not sitting there going, oh, I have 2.5 actions left in my action pool. I draw a magazine from my pouch. That is 0.5 actions. Okay. Insert magazine into magazine. Well, retract charging handle. Oh, that's another 7 actions. No, it's not like it's shit. There's a tango. Take him. I missed. Shit. He shot back. I'm hit. I'm undercover. It's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I was talking more about the 2.5 hours waiting on a green ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's private military contractor, so you're working for a business.
Yeah, it's time's money, bud. Time's money.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so they don't have field day then? That would be funny. All right, you get the mop.
Oh God! Okay. I rolled dexterity plus mop. I fail.
All right. Well, on that disappointing note,
dexterity plus dodge. Jump out of the way of the water.
Yeah. So on that disappointing note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. So, guys, any last thoughts before we close out the show this week? Just real quick, one of the people commented they would like to see us add the links to everything we talk about in the show. I promise to do that on the next one once I'm back in familiar settings and I have all my computers in front of me and not working off of one laptop. So, I heard you, I listened to you, and we will make sure we get the links put in for all the things we talk about. So somebody's going to have to take notes. So, all right. So that's it for me. Anybody else with last thoughts?
On that note, much of that stuff that we talked about, Chris has already posted to the Facebook page. So if you're a Facebooker, check that.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So, yes, everything that we talk about, our social media director, that would be Chris, is posted to our Facebook page. Also, we do talk about quite a bit of stuff in our Discord channel. Jim's kind of like the grand overseer of the Discord channel. So, make sure if you have comments or questions, you jump on our Discord channel, Sit Rep Podcast, and you can join us there and check out some of stuff there as well. So in the meantime, for everybody on the podcast, I want to say thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Where in the hell are you from anyway, Private?
That was the wrong one. Wrong bank. Here, let me try this.